yoga playing.
See here, now listen up. I am gonna get straight to the. All right, before we get into the video, I just need to read a disclaimer real quick. The information in this YouTube channel is not intended or implied to substitute for professional advice, diagnosis, or suggestions. All content excluding. Nah, I know good and damn well I can read better than this. All right, y'all. Hey, how y'all doing? This is the goddess JAZZELDA, SHIIBOSS spiritual boss with spiritual sauce. Before I get into the video, I need to read this disclaimer. The information on this YouTube channel is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional advice, diagnosis, or suggestions. All content, including text, graphic, images, and information contained on or available through this channel is for general information purposes only. This channel makes no representation or assumes responsibility for the accuracy of information on or available through this channel, and such information is subject to change without notice. You are encouraged to confirm any information obtained from or through this channel with other sources and review all information regarding the reports. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit use, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. The views and opinions expressed in these videos on this channel are those of my personal opinions and do not constitute as facts. And your discretion is advised. All right, so let's get into it. Day to day. So as you can see, this video is an update video on the Shanquella Robinson case in new video releases and my follow-up on my predictions for the outcome of the case. All right, so I ain't gonna hold y'all up too long because I am tired as I'll get out. I don't really celebrate pagan holidays, but if you do, then hope everybody enjoys their festivities and gatherings and their meals. Okay. What time from all those low vibrational plates gonna be up in the air tomorrow? Well, today rather. All right, so depending on when you're seeing this video. So listen, I've been doing some more research, of course, and I just wanted to come back and update those of you all who may not be able to diligently keep up with the case and the happenings of that case. All right, and also to be able to show you the videos, the latest videos that have surfaced on the internet, all right, since a few days ago. And one of the videos is going to be a video of, well, before I get into that, let me just go to my notes here so I don't get off track. All right, so allegedly the feds have initiated an investigation of the femicide or of a femicide case. In Mexico, they consider a femicide to be a murder due to the suspect being a female, and they're saying that that is it is done or committed by a male. Now, I think this is just the initial standard procedures for this type of situation, but to me, I think it's questionable because what in the world would make them determine that this could possibly be a femicide, especially with the details that have come out or surfaced about allegedly Winter Donovan, one of the associates that was on the trip, actually calling the doctor to get some help for Shanquella while she was still allegedly alive. Okay. So there's a big question mark right there for me. But they, from what I understand, what I've gathered, once they determine it a femicide and they rule it out as a femicide, then it will turn into a homicide investigation. All right. So the feds have initiated the investigation of a murder case, but in Mexico they're calling it a femicide. So once Mexico crosses that out, which I actually think they have, but don't quote me on that. It's a lot of information just being put out there. I don't want to misreport anything, so I'm going to continue to keep saying allegedly, because I haven't been able to contact anybody in Mexico to confirm the details. All right. So allegedly, the feds have authorized Mexican authorities to extradite the suspects if they are able to catch up with them, for one thing, because allegedly all of the associates that were on the trip that are wanted for questioning have disappeared, or they're not able to be located at the current time, aka on the run. All right. And I don't blame them, because I mean, they know that they're going to be in for it. Like I said on my previous video, they really have brought some bad karma on them. I'm telling you, the ancestors is not pleased about this one. So this is going to be definitely an interesting, high profile case as it continues to roll out. All right. My condolences to the family members, friends, the real friends, and the people and supporters of this case. Miss Robinson was officially laid to rest 3 days ago. I'm not going to share clips of the funeral, but from what I've seen, it was a very, very beautiful homegoing service. It looked, it kind of reminded me of the New Orleans style homegoing services that they have with the horse and carriage. The carriage being the open glass carriage that carries the not the open glass, I'm sorry, the wagon that carries the casket on it. Her casket was wrapped beautifully with pictures of her on the outside of it. Okay. And there were a lot of people in her city, I guess, you know, people from other places. I know there were some reporters and bloggers and things of that nature that also attended the funeral as well. Okay. So once again, my condolences to the family. This is such a heartbreaking case. And, you know, for me, the main reason, because I don't normally report on, she's not even a celebrity, but I don't really report on these type of situations. It's just that there's some spirituality and there's some spiritual violations going on here. And there is there's a lot of spiritual lessons to learn within the situation. One of them being intuition and your instincts, which is something that I talk about all the time, as far as being able to listen to yourself, know that when your intuition is talking to you and telling you and warning you of things. All right. Because like I said in the previous videos, I believe, and I have received confirmation that Shanquella had instincts and intuition about not going on this trip before the trip even took place. I just hate that she did not go with her first initial thoughts to just cancel, you know, saying the trip. It's still kind of funny to me. Well, not funny in that ha-ha sense, but it's still kind of suspicious to me why her friend would even insist on her going anyway, when she clearly showed that she didn't want to go, because allegedly there was a conversation where she actually told Khalil, which is one of the Khalil Cook, which is one of the alleged best friend. I mean, that to me, it doesn't even, I don't even feel right saying that, but he is the one who we know, you know, pretty much for sure, according to friends and family, that convinced her to go on the trip, that invited her on the trip, that, you know, helped to put the trip together and orchestrate all of the plans and things like that. So he is also the one allegedly that she communicated with about her actually kind of not really wanting to go, not feeling it. All right. So it was said that he still convinced her and really kind of like, you know, put a guilt trip on her about her not going and what would happen as a result of her not going, as far as, you know, everybody not being able to go, not being able to enjoy themselves. Allegedly, she funded the whole trip. I'm not going to see her. I don't believe that she paid for the whole trip. That has yet to be determined. Nobody has proved that with any type of, you know, credit card or debit card purchases or anything like that. So I don't know if she paid for the whole trip, but I do feel like she definitely contributed to a good portion of the finances that it took to kind of, you know, orchestrate the whole trip and the gathering. So I will say that as far as that goes. All right, so the feds allegedly are investigating the Mexican doctor and the Mexican officials for falsifying statements and documents. Now, I'm going to just say that I already told you all that it was some foul play and cover-up going on with the Mexican government and or the doctor. Clarity has not come through to me yet. I'm still waiting for more spiritual clarity from the ancestors about those particular details, but it already has been made clear to me from the jump that there is a large cover-up going on. It has more to do. People think it's just, you know, the associates that want to trip, and that's, I think, to me, that's a given. We know they had something to do with it, but I do not feel personally that they intended to unalive Miss Robinson. I think that was just you know, I guess that was just, you know, things going left really quick, a result of things going left really quick. But as far as I can tell, based upon research, based upon investigating, and based upon spiritual confirmation, they're not the only ones that were covering up something for one reason or another. And I feel like it is due to the fact that there is some more kind of sinister stuff going on. And I'm gonna just throw out words like sacrifice, sex trafficking, kidnapping, and things of that nature. All right. So I'm still sitting back. I'm listening to the updates. I want to see how this unfolds, and I will definitely be continuing to report on the topic as it continues to fold. All right. So I'm going to be showing a video of okay, so allegedly, let me just give you the backstory on this video before I show it. Now, they're saying this is Khalil with Shanquella's phone recording her in a hammock swing. Now, when I show you this video, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's questionable if she was alive or not. And to me, it's also questionable about if that was Khalil who had the phone. Because, I mean, I just don't know. My thing is, to me, it's ironic and it's strange, the releases of these videos. My thing is, who is releasing this content? Where is it coming from? Who's authorizing these releases? And it's interesting how they're rolling out little by little, piece by piece, snippet by snippet. You know, it seems to be very calculated. It seems to be very just, I don't know. Like I said, it seems to be very interesting how these things are rolling out. So I'm with everybody else that is tuning in and just watching this play out. This is, to me, it reminds me of a real life urban novel, like one of the ones I used to read when I was in prison. Okay, so it's a video of him or someone recording her in the hammock. She was not moving. She did not appear to be awake, I would say. In the video, she appeared to be asleep, kind of like with her head behind the neck. I can't tell if, like I said, the state of her existence at that point in time is very questionable. The video could have been set up. It could have been staged to make it appear that she was sleeping. But because she never moved, flinched, or said anything in response to what he was saying, that is yet to be determined. So in the video, you will hear him saying, "We got our first dead body. She is out of here." Okay. So I'm going to play that here and let you all see for yourself.
This is Khalil Cook. Okay. This is Khalil Cook. All right. This is Khalil Cook in this video. Okay. This is him in the video. He has Quella's phone. And I want you guys to see this. I want to play this, and then I want you guys to hear it, and I'm going to play the full video. Okay. Now this is one of the stories. Okay. But we'll get to that. Here we go.
We got our first dead body. Buddy, she too full. Buddy. Buddy, she too full.
I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna play this one more time.
We got our first day, buddy. Buddy. She too full.
It's just disgusting.
All right, and so I played it a few times so that you all could really get a good, take on it. And I even slowed it down the third time so you could hear, just in case you didn't hear it the first two times, what was said in the video. To me, that is quite suspicious. What in the world will make him say that? Now, when I seen this video, the first time I seen this video, it reminded me of one of these movies I've seen where they've done like these hunting games where they like hunt these victims, whether it's children. Well, for one, like I think I've seen one with some kids where they were kind of like, it's irrelevance to the adrenochrome. I'm sorry, I keep saying I don't know where in the world that's coming from because I normally do not do that. But the adrenochrome, I don't know if you all have ever heard of that, how celebrities and rich people and people who are practicing the occult practices and things of that nature, trying to stay young forever, that type of stuff. Allegedly, they drink the blood of children, but it's not any type of blood. It has to be blood of a child that has been scared or frozen into fear because of the chemical reaction or the hormonal reaction that takes place in the blood when a child is in fear for whatever reason or another. It sounds really scary and sinister, but I believe that this is to be true. I don't put anything past any of these people, especially the people out there in Hollywood, because, hey, let's face it, it's a lot of weird stuff going on out there. All right, so it kind of, like I said, the video kind of reminded me of one of those kind of like auction videos where they show their victims or that they've actually got the victim or that the victim is about to be caught or is in custody or their custody, so to speak. So that's what kind of came to me when I first seen it. Like, well, who is he showing this? Who is this video for? Like, why would you record someone and say that anyway? Because that's just awfully strange. I don't know how I would feel about seeing one of my friends record me in a hammock sleep, as what is appeared to be me sleep, and them saying, yeah, we got our first dead body. Like, oh, she's out of here, y'all. It's like one of those things where it's supposed to seem like it was just harmless fun, but for the people who knew what they were watching, it was like some of that come and get what you paid for type of situation. Because I told you, I feel like they kept leaving her on her own for someone or something to happen to her. You feel me? Like, I feel like the drunk or drugs in the system type of situation was just, I think that was going to be a excuse that was used anyway, but more so in the terms of her getting maybe kidnapped, her getting drugged off, her getting missing, wandering off into the wilderness alone, being intoxicated, and not returning to the rest of the crowd. Okay. Also, the other thing that struck me is interesting too is the fact that there was, okay, so apparently one of the things that the Mexican doctors and or authority, because what they're saying is the autopsy report is not matching up with what the police report says and what the doctors reported. So everybody's got something different to say, in addition to all of the associates that were there. Now, the fact that Winter Donovan even called for some type of assistance or whatever the case is, that to me is questionable too, because if they were just meaning to maybe, unalive her, then why would they call for her to be resuscitated or you know, to seek medical help. Now, it was said that that the doctor that came to make the house call, which apparently is not uncommon in foreign countries, because sometimes the hospital is not just, you know, 5 or 10 minutes up the street or easily accessible. Or in this case, from what I understand, if you have insurance that's from out of the country, they will not necessarily just accept it like that. All right. So they're saying that the doctor suggested that she be taken to the hospital, and they said that allegedly Winter was the first one to insist that she is treated at the house and not taken anywhere. It's also said that maybe allegedly, because apparently there's $10,000 to $17,000 missing. I don't know. That's kind of shaky. The numbers keep changing, and it's like, well, where is this information come from? Because I feel like, was it cash? And if it was cash, how do y'all know she had it? Who can verify that, or who can confirm that she actually had $10,000 to $17,000 cash? And if she did, why wasn't it used to take her to the hospital? Why didn't the friends insist they take her to the hospital, even if they paid authorities to take her to the hospital? Even if y'all paid them off, I mean, if you gave her them $5,000 because she had it, because I'm in my mind, I'm like, well, if they did steal, because at first they were saying that the friends stole the $10,000, and they were saying that they stole it to buy plane tickets to get back home. But my thing was, okay, who in the world flies out the country without a round trip ticket? There's no way you're going to convince me that even if they had a ticket to already come back, it's not like they left early. So they still came back at the time that apparently they were supposed to come back. They didn't leave at night. You know, they went and allegedly got another room at a hotel or something like that. They didn't stay at the villa, but they went and got a room somewhere else. So my thing is, you know, I think it'll come out soon, of course, because I'm sure the authorities will investigate on where they went to, you know, what was the what form of payment was used to actually secure the other, you know, spot that they were staying in. And I think that will hopefully eliminate some of these alleged rumors about her money getting stolen or whatever. Because I mean, if it's on a credit card, that can easily be traced. I don't feel like it would be alleged. You know, at this point, I feel like that could be confirmed, especially by her parents or someone close to the situation. All right. So because it also says she paid, like I said, she paid for the whole trip. I don't know. I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like it might have been some type of agreement or arrangements made where she may have funded some extra portions of the trip. Maybe some of the other people could not afford their percentage. And because it also says she paid, like I said, she paid for the whole trip. I don't know. I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like it might have been some type of agreement or arrangements made where she may have funded some extra portions of the trip. Maybe some of the other people could not afford their percentage, and maybe they, you know, might have agreed to pay her when they got back and stuff like that. But let's just say she did have $10,000 cash. I don't feel like these people, I mean, they may have been sinister, but I don't know if they were necessarily stupid. I just don't feel like they would have done all this just to split $10,000 between 6 people. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of this is, you know, kind of still uncertain. But what is certain is so many different stories that it's obvious it's a lot of lies and deception and corruption going on. All right. Like I said, whether that's with the authorities or whether that's with the associates. So I'm going to play the audio for this video because it's not a video anyway. It's these people are not on the live, but this is a live with allegedly Winter, Donovan. I can't even tell who else is on this live, but I want to say this is, it could be the girl that nobody's talking about. And that's the other questionable thing to me. The only 2 females that seem to be getting mentioned is Winter Donovan and Dejanay Thomas. I think her last name is Thomas. Dejanay Johnson. I'm sorry, not Thomas. But it's questionable. Is it Johnson or Jackson? I'm sorry, y'all. I don't want to say the wrong name, but y'all know what I'm talking about. That's the girl that was fighting her. Now, on this video, you would hear the girl say that the one who was fighting her is not on this live. This is like an Instagram live. So this is from some stories, a story that I believe was screenshot. So they didn't show their face on the live, but you can hear them talking on the live. So I'm going to play this now so that you can hear it and see for yourself. All right. They don't sound remorseful or anything. Then they had the nerve to get a attitude with the people talking about if they were going to be rude or something like that. They were going to stop answering questions. It's crazy.
You're thirsty. So much salt. All right, so yes, she did have a fight that y'all see, and that's going viral. They were fighting because Quilla did some crazy shit while she was drunk. So she basically told her to, let's fight. I don't want to drag you out of the bed. Chloe didn't want to, and that's how that happened. Unfortunately, she did die because of
it got blanked out right there
on the bed. So I don't know. Because y'all see something in the video don't mean that happened. They're just trying to cover it up with a broken spine and whatever else they're saying.
Hold on, let me stretch this out. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me get this.
Dang, that's what happened. That's how her spine broke. Stupid asses.
Hold on. They got a bad attitude too.
You all like y'all. I was not fighting in the video, so the person that was fighting in the video is not up here, and she can only speak for herself. So until she gets up here, she can speak on her behalf. Dang, that's what happened. That's how her spine broke. Stupid asses. We are talking because we were there. There's multiple people there, not just the girl that was fighting. So I'm confused. What's the question you're trying to ask? Honestly, if me and my friend is going through something, we gonna fight it out. So that's just that. Nobody's gonna jump in, and that's just what happened. Y'all want to hear the story? Shut the fuck up and just listen. Y'all act like we picked the bed up and hit her. After she fell, she was not dead. So what are you talking about? Y'all can ask questions. We will answer them. But if y'all going to be negative, we're just going to start blocking people. No, the autopsy results is not valid.
I'm gonna block you.
All right, so that's where the video cut off at. As you can tell, it's a little bit choppy. It's a little bit all over the place as far as who's talking, what they're responding to. Now, you can tell that they're responding to comments that are being typed in the chat while they're, I guess, live or whatever the case is. In the video, because it's so foggy and blurry, I can see that there's a chat going on, but you cannot clearly and distinctively see what's being typed in the chat, except within a few comments, but it's still not clear. It's just because they're typing in all caps and something like, F you or y'all ain't shit or something to that effect. You know what I'm saying? It's probably something now, you would have expected to see in a chat, because they had nerve to say, well, if y'all are gonna be rude about it. Like, my thing is, how do you expect people to react to something like this? You know what I'm saying? Y'all went on a trip with somebody who considered you all to at least be good enough friends or associates to travel with out of the country. You know what I'm saying? And so the fact that y'all even came back without her and without even seeing about it, y'all let me know in the comments if you would have left your friend if something happened to them while y'all was out of the country, and if y'all would have just flown out. Because my thing is, I would have rescheduled my flight, because one thing about buying a ticket, now I don't know, sometimes you may not be able to get a earlier flight, just depending on their availability, and that I do know for sure. But I know for sure, if you can't do nothing else, you can get an extended flight. Now, the fact that her family was involved in helping her, I understand maybe y'all was broke, maybe a few of y'all came back, but at least Khalil, the one who convinced her to come over there, I don't understand why he didn't stay, or the one that was on the video claiming that he didn't know anything. This girl, you showed up and then a few hours later she was gone. To me, I just feel like I would have been against the rest of the group. Who gonna check me, and what the fuck y'all gonna do to me? Because I'm gonna find out what's going on. I would have been over there until justice got served. So that's what leads me to believe that he had to know more than he claims he know. Because it's no way that you saying that you showed up, you thought she was drunk, you was rubbing her head and playing whatever the hell music he said he was playing. And you talking about, oh well, I did notice, the cut over her eye, or the bruise on her lip, but you didn't think nothing about it. So what did you think? She fell because she was just so drunk? And the other thing is, you know, I know that they're saying when they got back to the country, when the parents got the body back to the country after, because it took 2 weeks for them to complete all the paperwork, send the money, get everything taken care of. When they got the body over back to the States and had an autopsy performed, it was said in the autopsy that there was no alcohol in her system, which is what they were told, that the alcohol, you know, had happened. Now, my thing is was there somebody trying to pump alcohol out of her, or maybe pump something else into her? Was she, what kind of, you know, what was she given? They said she was given a IV treatment, but is that what you give somebody who is drunk, you know, has alcohol poisoning or whatever the case is? I don't know. I'm not a medical doctor or nurse practitioner or anything like that, so I'm just kind of curious about what the process would be as far as handling or treating someone who is suffering from alcohol poisoning. How would that be treated on the spot? And if someone had alcohol in their system, even though they're no longer, because I know, for instance, like you could drink alcohol. I could drink alcohol right now. You know, when we was in the TC, when we used to drink at work on lunch break, you know, we could drink at 12 o'clock, and when we have to be in by 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, we have to blow into the breathalyzer. As long as we drink enough water and spray some Banaka, you know, we don't test for alcohol. Now, I know that doesn't mean that alcohol is not in your system, but what I'm saying is apparently leaving out of the system, because we have to blow into the breathalyzer, just like a police would give you if you was on the side of the road, you would get pulled over. So I'm just saying, I'm just curious about how long alcohol stays in the system, because if something was put in her drink to make her become inebriated, because there was also another video. I got to get it. I'm going to show that video next time. I got to get that clip where they were eating and drinking before their fight took place, and they were literally trying to convince her or everybody else to drink, but it was more like drink up, like maybe a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you trying to get me a drink so bad? I don't know if she was a drinker or not, but I just feel like maybe something was put in her drink to even cause her to be, you know, woozy like that. I feel like she was naked because she was asleep. I feel like she was asleep, or she fell asleep because of whatever might have been put in her drink. And I feel like if something was put in her drink, it had to be put in there for a reason. Now, I'm just curious as far as how long alcohol will stay in your system if you're deceased when alcohol is, or if you become unalive while alcohol is currently in your system. How does that work? Because if they get her back to the States 2 weeks later, they do a toxicology report, they're saying, no, it wasn't no alcohol. Is that accurate or not? Well, could there have been alcohol in her system over in Cabos, but when she got over here, you know, it had flushed out or been drained out or whatever the case is, you know, how does that work? So if anybody has any information on that, I'd be glad to get your input on that, all right? Because that, to me, those are some of the major questions that I have as far as the validity of what the doctor is saying, the validity of because they also said the doctor came to the house, but then they said she passed. The doctor said she was there for 3 hours and 45 minutes before she passed or transitioned. Well, then they said they called the ambulance once that happened to come take her to the hospital. No, excuse me, hold on. She went into cardiac arrest. She started having convulsions or went into cardiac arrest or something like that within like an hour and a half after the doctor came. So that's when they called the ambulance, and the ambulance got there and said they need to take her to the hospital, but they insisted on her not going to the hospital. So my thing is, how does that work when a doctor's called, but the ambulance is not called? You just make a personal call to the doctor, or, you know, how does that work? I don't know how their services is over there. If anybody's ever been over to Mexico or even Cabos, gotten intoxicated and had to, you know, get some type of assistance, please chime in or tap in, ring in. Let us know about how that experience worked out for you and what that process looked like. Because, you know, over here, we pretty much just call 911. The ambulance going to show up. The paramedics is already on the ambulance. Hell, the fire truck may even show up depending on what kind of emergency it is. And they pretty much going to go ahead and, you know, take you to the hospital if they can't get any type of resolution within a certain amount of time period on the spot. All right. So that's why I'm kind of curious about whose doctor this was, who called her. Did they previously know her? Did they have any type of association with her? Had they met this doctor previously on a trip, or they introduced to this doctor through someone else, maybe like a mutual acquaintance or associate? You know, because like I said, the other 6 associates that were on this trip with her had been to Mexico before. All right. They have pictures of them all over there. And I'll get some more of that stuff like that, because I wasn't really going to report on this, but I will definitely pull out the receipts if I need to, because I've seen all of it. And I probably need to get it before it disappears off the net anyway. So I think I've done this recap and update long enough. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Like I said, I'm gonna stay on top of it, but my predictions so far are on point. I feel like I already said it was gonna be some kind of foul play on the authorities and the doctor, that whole medical situation over there. I think up next is we're gonna have the revelation of who actually started the fight, like what actually started the fight. Also, there was one other thing I did want to mention. There were accusations of allegedly the fight. I'm gonna do that in another part. I'm gonna do that in a separate part. All right. Let me see. Can I get the receipts for that? On next one, I'm gonna do an update on what they said that actually the fight was actually about. What was alleged the fight was about. And I'll bring out the receipts for that. Okay, so I hope that this helped to provide some updated clarity information for those of you who need it. Like I said, if you can't necessarily keep up with the shenanigans and the updates and reports on this case, then I would definitely do my best to try to keep you informed and abreast of all of the occurrences and the outcomes. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining me. If this is your first time checking me out, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I probably forgot to say that in the beginning, but I just want to get into it because, you know, it's just such a situation. It's such a situation. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to waste no time with the basics. You just want to get right into it. All right. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Tap that bell for notifications of videos when I drop. This is the Queen of Quality channel by way of Universal Convo. I will be posting and uploading both of these videos on both my channels because I feel like it's relative to both of the platforms. And on Universal Convo, I talk more about conscious content as it relates to spirituality, life hacks, tips, and trips. And on Queen of Quality, I really focus on personal, professional, and spiritual development. This young lady was not only a goddess in training, she was a business owner and entrepreneur as well, and she was a star seed. All right, so that is why I definitely feel the need to relay the message on both of my channels. All right, so that's what I got for y'all today. I hope that y'all enjoyed this episode. Until we meet again, as always, I speak nothing but infinite blessings and abundance on your life, your wealth, your health, your community, your existence, and your love. All right, till we meet again next time. I say peace.